Big win for the DACA program. A judge overruled the Trump administration's efforts to end the program for immigrants brought to the U.S. as children by their parents, and now the U.S. government is accepting brand new DACA applicants. The Trump administration, however, has 90 days to better explain the reasons behind wanting to end DACA. So far, no court has found DACA to be unconstitutional. Well, Spectrum News 13 morning anchor Beth Bruce-Wall went in depth with a local immigration attorney today on what this means for those now applying, as well as the future of the program.
Joining me now, Rusten Hurd with Colombo and Hurd Law. Thank you so much for coming in, Rusten.
My pleasure.
Okay, so big deal, because last night there was a ruling that came down from the Federal District Court for the District of Columbia, and the judge, Judge Bates, said there has to be now a beginning. They're going to start taking new applications for the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, also known as DACA. Can you explain in layman's terms that ruling?
Sure. Well, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals allows certain individuals that have been here for a long time and came here as children to obtain some form of protected status in the United States. What the judge has done is, because the government didn't really give any basis at all to terminate the Deferred Action, the DACA, he's allowed an extension and allowed for new applicants to begin applying.
Okay, that's key. You say that new. So can folks right now who would fall under DACA start applying right away?
They cannot. Previously, President Trump attempted to end the program, but a different federal judge kept the program open. However, this judge has allowed a period of 90 days for the government to respond as to why they think the program should be unconstitutional. If the government can't provide enough of an explanation for that, then the program will now be open to anyone who would qualify.
So it's a mixed bag. The judge is saying, yes, it can start, but not for 90 days.
That's correct.
For new applicants.
That's absolutely correct.
How about current applicants?
Current applicants, anyone that currently or previously had and is still eligible for DACA, can continue to renew their status. And if someone had DACA before, this is something they should definitely consider doing, because they can get an additional 2 years. However, individuals that were previously eligible for the program but had not applied are going to have to wait 90 days to see what the judge says before they can file an application.
So this is a ray of hope for part of the immigration community to hear these words, even though the new applicants would have to wait 90 days. This is hopeful, some would say.
No question about it. Definitely a ray of hope. What it shows also is that the government didn't have any explanation at all as to why they killed the program. They literally didn't offer any explanation to the judge.
Why would the Trump administration not offer any explanation with something so significant?
Well, we don't know for sure what the reasoning is, but I think it speaks volumes as to what's really going on here.
So those who would want to apply, they would be considered new applicants. They cannot do so for 90 days. Can they at least start some part of the process?
Sure. Well, they should not be applying, filling out any forms or anything along those lines, but they can begin to demonstrate the requirements, showing that they've been here for an extensive period of time, and documenting the fact that they have either a high school degree or have served in the military. This
is your bread and butter. This is what you do. You deal with immigration. Have you seen an uptick in calls or inquiries into your office since this came down last night?
Definitely. A lot of people are interested in what's going on. There's a lot of lack of clarity concerning the subject, and definitely people want to find out what's happening, what status do I have.
You know, we have a growing Hispanic community across Central Florida, the majority being Puerto Ricans, and they're U.S. citizens by birth. Is there any group, when it comes to DACA recipients, that are in our area the most? Like, who is here? Most people from Colombia, from Venezuela. From which country do you see the most coming through your offices?
We have a vibrant Latino and Hispanic community here in Central Florida. A lot of Puerto Ricans, obviously, but clients from Venezuela, from Colombia, from Brazil, from throughout South America, but not just South America and Central America, of course, Mexico, but also from Europe as well, and from Asia. So it's really a wide variety of immigrants that many of whom were brought here as children, have no criminal history, and really through no fault of their own are stuck in this really difficult position.
And just to reiterate, because somebody will say, wait a minute, that's not. It is very clear, we said that already, that Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens by birth. But I mentioned that as being, you know, they're a huge part of our community, and they also marry folks who may not be U.S. citizens, so that becomes part of the mix.
Absolutely.
Is there one personal, very quickly, story that you can tell me of somebody who's come through your law firm dealing with this immigration issue that has just reached out and feels just so very hopeful that this is it, they're going to get a break?
Yeah, well, we've actually had several clients that are very concerned about the situation, that maybe don't qualify for DACA before because maybe they were born just a little bit too late, or they came here just a day or two too late, that are hoping that if not this program, then a new program which would allow them, even though they came here as a small child, they still may not be eligible. That's why really a comprehensive immigration reform really needs to take place to allow people that are so deserving of the benefits to obtain status here.
Yeah, lots of things are changing really fast. Thank you so much, Rusten Hurd with Colombo and Hurd Law. Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
For this
Thank you.
in-depth.